Hello students, Professor Thompson. I just want to give you a quick tutorial video on accessing the chapter modules and the chapter quizzes. I discussed this in video number 2. As I had mentioned in my previous videos, these videos will be valid for all of my summer internet courses. So while I might not be accessing something in your specific section, this would be good for section Net 5, Net 10, and Net 20. So I'm just going to click into one of my internet sections quickly. And you'll notice that the framework or the layout is very common for all of my internet courses. I try and keep the consistency between sections so that I can answer questions quickly and it's easy for me to organize. But I'm going to click into unit number 1 because that's where the first chapters and modules are. You have chapters and modules in every unit, but in unit number 1, you've got chapter 1, Learn Smart e-textbook material right away, and then you also have a chapter 1 quiz. So let's first click into chapter number 1, which would be the first chapter for the course. And it would redirect you on that click to your book, but because I'm the professor, I need to preview this just to show you what's going on. But when you click on it, it should transfer you automatically to the material, kind of like this. It's loading your smart book or your e-textbook. And in the upper left-hand corner is where your menu is for all of the material. So you can close the menu, you can open the menu to access it, but you're going to want to read the first chapter and get into that first material in chapter number 1. Make sure that you're good to go. So chapter number 1, we start to look at some of the material, we start to load the material, and you're going to notice that some of the material is faded, and you can see when I rotate over it, it says the text is dimmed because right now it's less relevant for you to study. You can always reveal the text by clicking on it. So don't be alarmed that some of the text might be dulled out. Again, you can always click at different points in different sections to access that material. It will also highlight certain material, and that material will be relevant material because it may apply to the quizzes or to the different chapter modules that you will need to complete as we progress through the course. So you can go ahead and use the arrows at the bottom of the screen to click through and read the specific chapters and figure stuff out. There's also these slides buttons at the right to give you even more information and voiceover explanations of certain material, and that might be helpful to you as well. Once you've read through the entire chapter, I said you need to complete the module, and I explained this in video 2. So up here in the menu button, you would click on the menu and you would go down to practice. This is what I said in that second video. And you'd click on practice. And it gives you these, I call them flashcards, even though the publisher didn't like that I did that. So it'll give you a question, says, which of the following are all forms of communication? So I'm going to click them all, saying these are all forms of communication. And I'm going to say, yeah, I know it, right? And I got it right. So well done to me, great. I move on to the next question. Down here, it gives me a running tally at the bottom of how many questions I have left. Now, let's just say that I get one wrong, right? I click it and I think I know it or I'm unsure and I get it wrong. I don't lose points for getting it wrong in the module. But as I had said in that second video, the more questions you get right, the less of these cards that you have to complete. The more of them that you get right, the less you have to complete. So you can actually run through these more quickly if you get them correct. Okay, so again, you want to go through and answer them correctly, and bam, there we go. I got another one correct, so I get to move on. And so it will kind of keep you going. Again, if you answer them all correctly right away and you're doing really well because you read well, it might only take you 8-9 minutes to do this. If you struggle at answering these questions correctly, it's going to give you more and more questions that you have to do to make sure that you're learning the material. Completing these flashcards constitutes the module for the course. So you'll have these flashcards for every chapter. And make sure you read first, right here, and then go in and do the practice after you've read, okay? Once you've finished that, that's when you want to leave SmartBook altogether and you want to go back into Blackboard. So you're going to click back into Blackboard, and then you're going to want to take the actual chapter quiz, which is right here underneath your reading. Now, because I'm not a student in the course, when I click on this, it actually gives me feedback as to how many students have completed the course or the quizzes and whatnot. But you can see that chapter 1 here is 20 questions at 20 points. So each question is worth 1 point in this particular quiz. So every module is 20 points and every quiz is 20 points. Now, some of the quizzes might only have 10 questions or 15 questions or something like that, but each module is 20 points and each quiz is 20 points. So that's how you access the modules within the course. And as you can see, if I click into Unit 2, Unit 2 has Learn Smart modules, as well as Unit 3 has Learn Smart modules as well. If you have any questions, please make sure that you let me know right away. Best of luck.